Yo, welcome to Debonair Productions, LLC. I see ya with your host, Mario Bobino. T. Calloway signing out.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of I See You, Blaster. I see you, young boy. I bet you in '08, and now you're doing big things. You're damn near 30 now, and you blowing up the charts in reference to your rapping. I'm going to get off into how I basically know you, how I knew you in '08, but first let's start off. I think you're one of the hottest rappers right now in the Bay Area. And I really mean that. When people go to your website or YouTube page, they're going to be blown away. So can you let my audience know how you got started in this game and where you're at today?
Well, shit, I had too much time to myself over the time of the years, just sitting in jail, in and out of it, from 2008 on down to 18 when I was released from a bid from the feds and then the state. So I had a lot of practice, and I had a song that I did when I was probably about 18, and it got some attention, and it kind of stuck and repeat. So when I went to do my bid, when I got sentenced to that, when I was about 19, I just always thought about that moment where I had all this attention, other than, so that was my cycle. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to rap. And shit, it took me about 6 years to get back to the mic, and shit, when I all got reactions, and I just kept going.
Well, like I said, people's going to be very impressed. Now, let's take it back to how I know you. You're from the Rich,
Yep.
from the Noya,
Yeah.
and I'm a youth correctional officer at Juvenile Hall, and you came in there in '08, and you was kind of wild and young at that particular time, but one thing I liked about you is had excellent manners. And I noticed when you did come in there, people really need to know, you really wasn't a troubled kid, but your background, your lifestyle was kind of difficult because you grew up without your parents pretty much. Your grandmother raised you, and by her not raising you, you was kind of wild. You know what I mean? So then you end up coming to the hall, and then you end up doing the prison, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So when you grew up in Richmond, what was that like growing up in Richmond at the young time when you was growing up there as a youngster?
Well, it's different phases, in childhoods. You got the blind stage, where it's the younger stages. That's the best of me, where you don't know what's going on in your environment and stuff, and you just having fun, you don't know. But then you got the point where you starting to know, and then you got the part where you old enough to be involved in some of this shit. So it's like, it's different phases. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you had the blind stage, then it's the younger stage, then it's like the stage where you start getting involved is the stage I met you at, where, you know what I'm saying, the shit you doing is getting you chased by the police and stuff and getting caught, and now you feel me? So, I mean, it was cool though. It wasn't really too bad. I didn't have a lot of people get killed when I was a kid and shit, but it was around. And shit, like you said, I was raised by my grandmother, so I didn't have that, that masculine stuff on me. My dad, if he was there, or my mom, they would have been able to chase me around a little bit better than my grandmother could. So I just was able to pull shit over on her and shit. Just natural, a kid,
Right. Now, what I respected about you, and I know you go, this is going to bring back some memories. When we were inside Juvenile Hall, Z, Drew, Becky, we used to look out for you guys.
Yeah.
Now, please explain to me, back in them days, I don't know if you remember, you had North, South, and Central.
Mm-hmm.
You guys hated each other, but the guys from Pittsburgh, you guys was cool with.
Yeah.
Can you tell me why? But we made an oath to you guys. We're going to have a cool shift. We're going to make sure everybody gets along. So we made an oath. And you guys respected that, which I respected. We made an oath inside the hall, okay, because you guys are respecting us as counselors, we're going to go on and be cool about that. What was going on back then? Why was there so much hate when we all from the same particular neighborhood and we all looked the same? I never understood that, and I always wanted to ask somebody about that.
It's now that I'm at this point, I can see what it is. It's really it's what you looking at. Like when you go outside, you looking at the people that's older than you. I don't know how to say how much older, but you looking at the dudes riding the cars and got the girls and shit. And it's really following, if you want to call it a spade. So it's like whatever issues they have, a kid gonna assume they have it because we look up to these people, and that's gonna push on to the youth, and that's how I go from there. And as you get older, it start getting more to you because it's your friends and your partners that's probably getting jumped or shot or fucked up or however that go, or this person did this. It might start over a female, And like I said, it's just so much following. It's like, if you see a motherfucker 3, 4, 4 or 5 years older than you, and they like, I don't like these dudes. Fuck these dudes. This dude can be your cousin. But you over here with these people every day. These the people where you like, man, I need some. They gonna give you the money. They gonna give you shoes. They gonna, you feel me? So it's like, not in a whole, but everybody got their picks of people they deal with. So it's like, this person near and dear to you, and then them people, you don't really see them over there too often, so it's easy to say fuck them, you feel me? So that's just really how I go.
No, that's how it was back then. We still got, it's not as bad as it was back in the day. What would you tell them youngsters today in reference to that feud that was going on back then? Because it has calmed down a lot.
Yeah, I mean, man, don't scare to be yourself. If you ain't want to get in that, you know what I'm saying, that life and all, fuck don't want to, don't. Stand up. Ain't nothing wrong with being a square and none of that shit. That don't mean you a pussy, that don't mean you a hoe, none of that shit. It just, you know what I'm saying, you just be yourself and be comfortable. You be comfortable. I want to be an artist. I want to be a doc. All of that shit is cool to do. It's whatever pays you, get you going, just do that. I don't know, be yourself. You ain't got to get in the mix and following and shit. And, you know what I'm saying?
And that's what's up. Now, you spent time in juvenile hall, then you went to the state penitentiary, but you started educating yourself on being inside. Something that you said, and I saw an interview that was on YouTube, was the fact that, let me take advantage of the time while I'm in here. Let me try to educate myself so I can become a better person, which you have become. What changed you? Because I remember, I hate to say, in the hall, you was kind of rough on the edges, man, but I used to give you that good counseling back then. But what made you kind of do that, flip the script, and turn into this solid rapper that you are today?
Trying something new. I mean, I feel like I did every other thing that it was to do in the streets, but this is by the age of, what I'll say, 19. To like my first 3 years of prison, then the second 3 is where I felt the difference. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, first 2, 3 years, like I said, was nothing. Now the second is like, I did everything. And if I didn't personally do it, I can look to the left of me, he has. I can look to the right of me, he has. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you could watch a lot of stuff happen to you, and that'd be good enough for the next. Like, you know, you see it happen to him, your brother, your cousin, your uncle, you'd be like, that's enough. So with myself and all of my community around me, everything didn't happen. So it's like, let's try something different.
Now, what I respected about some of the stuff that I saw on YouTube was the fact that they were trying to make you plead guilty to something, but you figured it out like, no, I'm not doing it. Can you explain to my audience what happened and how you educated yourself? So if people are in that same position, they're going to think like Buster did.
Well,
Blaster.
Well, shit, man, when I went to the feds, you know what I'm saying, everything was new. It's like, I didn't know nothing about it. I didn't, you know what I'm saying, but at the same time, they offered me something just too fast. And I figure like, I found something wrong with that. I found something wrong with them offering me a deal that fast and stuff like that. So I looked it up myself. You know what I'm saying? I started, you know, just reading it over and over till I understand it more and more, to the point where I can, you know what I'm saying, interpret it the right way and realize, nah, they just trying to pull a fast one over on me. And if I'm going to take a decade, I just go to the jury and let them give me the decade, then just sign out for it. Let me see if y'all really telling the truth.
Right. So how did you become so educated? And that's what I admire about you. And we're going to talk about your rap game in a second, but I just like how you became so educated on the system, how to beat the system, get out the system, and then become the entrepreneur that you are.
I mean, a lot of pride be in a lot of shit when people come to dealing with parole and probation, and, you know, a lot of pride. So it's a lot of shit be like, don't tell me what to do and all of that shit, but like, all right, I know what y'all want me to do. So if I jump ahead and go do it already, now let's see if this system is really for you. And it's not, for real. Because I had a job. I got out January, had a job by February. When I got my license, car off the lot, job. And I mean, shit, you just do everything they want you to do for the first and foremost. And I never did it before, so it was just time going on to do it. And next thing you know, 1 year passed by, 2 years passed by, 3 years passed by. Now you off, and it's just easy because I'm doing stuff I never did before. Really just, that's how my life started, for real. Like, when I got out of prison, all the simple stuff I went to go do. And yeah, it just went from there. But you got to educate yourself. You got to read, because they'll tell you anything.
There you go. That's what's up. So I want you to tell the youngsters how, like you said earlier, it's okay to be a square. Because a lot of people...
Yeah. That term, that square term, I don't know. I think that, a lot of people talk down on it, so don't nobody want to be associated with that, but there's nothing wrong with it. A square don't mean you don't get no females. Square don't mean you don't get no money. Square mean I'm going to mind my business and stay out of jail where people don't, you know what I'm saying? And none of that's bad stuff to do. I don't like jail. Jail weak. I wish square would have been something a person uplifted more when I was younger. I'd have been that.
There you go. That's what's up. Now let's talk about this rap industry, man. Like I said, I was so impressed with what I was hearing. And quiet as it's kept, I substitute teach. And I was at a school in Richmond, and it was a detention. And they were listening to some music, and they wasn't supposed to be listening to the music.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what y'all listening to? They said, Blaster. I'm like, well, what's up with Blaster? So then I look, I'm like, wait a minute, man, I know this youngster right here. So you are a major influence to these youngsters, and they love your music. You have a library of music. How can people hear all that music? Even though you told me it's going to take, what, about a year for me to get through all your music?
I say about a month.
Okay, but you got so much music. I was listening to some of it, and I was really impressed. You got so many different messages. Where did you come up with all these creative ideas in reference to the raps that you do, or your style?
My mind. I mean, a lot of stuff you want to be able to, till I got to this point, that was my only way to say how I feel about something and put some, a twist to it and make it better. And as time going on, I'm seeing, I never knew I had no influence or anything. I never knew kids even listened to me. This was something I did to like exercising. It's just something I did to stay out of trouble. Instead of going to the block, hang out, get in trouble and get violated, I used to go to the studio. I used to sit in the studio. I ain't got nothing to do today. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to the studio. You feel me? So this is a part of that, the part I told you, doing something new. I never did this before. So just in time, you're gonna get better and you're gonna have more stuff to talk about. And I mean, you meet people and they always tell you their life story, and going to prison, you kind of see the caliber of person you are yourself by seeing how people take different things in. And I used to downplay a lot of the stuff that I was around, and I didn't think it was that bad. But when you meet other people, they kind of think more of smaller things, and now you kind of think it in. So it's like, maybe I do got something to tell, though, because I don't really feel big on a lot of stuff that you guys probably glorify and shit like that. Like, motherfucker probably go to jail for 6 months and be like, yeah, I just did time. You think you somebody? Well, shit, I did 6 then. Shit, like, well, maybe I should write about this shit. You feel me? Like, so, like, that's how I come about. Like, rap about what I'm talking about, because I know it's there, it's real, it's not lying, it's not fabricated anything. I don't gotta do that. But that's how I go. Like, and now I know I have an audience. Now it's kind of making me more conscious of what I say.
Well, one thing that I admire about you, something that you said, did you just answer, is the fact that I see a lot of rappers that act like they hard and thug, like they spent time in jail, but they really didn't. But you did. That's why when I listen to your music, it's more heartfelt, because you actually live that lifestyle. So how do you feel about that when people, like you just kind of answered it, but how do you feel when people who's really never spent time in jail, they don't really know what the process is, but they're up there trying to rap about it. But if you listen to your rap music, you can tell that you really feel it. I mean, that really happened. How do you feel about that?
I don't know, like, that shit crazy, though, because that shit not cool at all. That shit not cool at all. You got a lot of different emotions that go through you. Got a lot of different stuff that happen. It's like in Rome, you got to do as the Romans do. Like, you can't be nobody's victim. That's just going to repeatedly happen. So that whole lifestyle, that shit ain't nothing to play with. I don't wish that on nobody. So for a person to try to glorify, I feel like it's just kind of a little bit green. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know no better. That's why you talking about it like that. That's why you think it's something cool. When you got to sit in that bitch and all the years seem the same, and you got to think about World Series to identify the year or what happened that year, that shit ain't cool. You forget people's names. Man, that shit ain't cool for real.
And I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people I see that's trying to be this hard gangster, like you said, if you were square, like one thing I respect about Will Smith, he kept it real. He never was talking like he was.
Yeah, hip square on mamas.
You know what I'm saying? But when you listen to your music, you can feel it. And that's what I respect about it. And let's talk about all these plethora of videos you got. You seem like you come out with a video like once or every 2 weeks, man. What's up with that?
That just keep me going. It keep me going. Like, if I don't do that, like, I'm gonna be doing something else probably. And like this the whole thing of like, now that's my life, so why wouldn't I keep it going? Why would I give myself a break to fall off or get caught up in some new shit? You feel me? this is what's paying me. This was paying my bills. This was been paying my bills. All I can do is maximize it. You feel me? And keep going.
And that's what's up. And you know what I respect and like about you, Blaster, is the fact that Tupac had a library of music.
Yeah.
And when I'm listening to all the music that you have, you're kind of like on that same level to me. And when people really take the chance, hopefully after this interview, and they dive into your music, they're going to be like, this man is spitting out some knowledge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So pretty much, where did all that good knowledge come from? Because
I mean,
you kind of remind me of him.
I've never been a dumb individual. Always been a thinker. And before I knew that was my trait, I had to let someone else tell me that was my trait. Like, you know what I'm saying? A few people. You know, it take more than one time for something to happen sometimes, and I learned it. So when one person told me, then another person, I embraced it. So I think a lot. So yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's one of my traits.
They know about you. I mean, anybody from Richmond, they know about you. Now, I know there were rap artists that came out of Richmond. I remember, was it The Team or somebody?
Frontline.
Yeah, Frontline. There you go, Frontline. But has any other rappers really been known that came out of Richmond? Because I think you the next big hit.
You got Lil Rick. I know y'all remember Lil Rick.
Yeah.
You got LaRue the hard hitter. You got Johnny Cash, the late Johnny Cash. You got Sin. You got a few people that kind of, Guy Holly. You got Guy Holly. You got a few people that kind of, Calvin T. Y'all remember Calvin T? Yeah.
Well, I know of you, and I know that you are on fire right now. I'm keeping 100, and it makes me so proud. So how can people find your music so they can see what I saw when I went to your YouTube, or when I went to you? I was like, damn, Blast, okay.
Shit, you just put it in your search bar, whether you putting it on Google, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer, Spotify. I try not to have no one find me anywhere. So that's what got me good too. So it's like a person be like, why your stuff not on this or that? So I made it available on everything, so you don't have no excuses.
So say one time, your music is available on all platforms.
All digital platforms for certain.
Okay, so now let us know this. Have you signed with anybody, or are you still going independent?
I'm independent. A few distributions here and there, distribution, like, a store to sell your merchandise. So
right, you kind of remind me how E40 did it. Too bad we can't slang tapes no more, because you really be out there with...
Man, I had them too. So I let somebody put that idea. I had a few tapes. I gave them away.
Oh, like that?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, gave them away.
So what do you look for out of your rap career? I mean, what I'm looking for is I want you to sign a big major deal, and I'm definitely going to send this interview to some people that I know.
Okay. Elevation. That's all I can do. That's all I expect myself to do is elevate, keep elevating. I don't want to be stuck in the same. That's no fun for me.
And something that you said earlier is you want to educate. So now, something that you brought up that was so important to me, because you used to rap about the street life and whatnot have you, but now you say you're kind of conscious about your music. Why is it because you got the little one now?
Yeah, and she sings this shit. So, yeah, she know a lot of songs, and, like, it make me think about making a nursery for her, because she gonna learn it, she gonna know it. So I think about how many other kids know what I'm saying. But I'm like, it's so crazy, because it's a double-edged sword, because kids want to sing shit that they not supposed to sing all the time. I was like that. I'm pretty sure you probably was like that. I used to listen to motherfucking Mystical and shit like that. So it's always that forbidden music that a motherfucker want to listen to. So it's like, even if I try not to make this type of music, they're going to go listen to another artist. But I try to, you know what I'm saying, be aware of what I'm saying a lot.
Now, something else I like when you go, because I'm going to be showing us little spurts of your videos during this interview. I see you change directors a lot. I mean, is that something that you...
Yep.
Because the styles are so different.
I move around. That was my thing of getting my name out there. If I go to a Stockton cameraman, my name going to be through in Stockton. If I go to San Francisco cameraman, my name going to do it, and so forth. Oakland. And so I'm looking for the quality, and I'm looking where you at. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. And us at Debonair Productions, we see what you're doing, we recognize what you was doing, and we're proud of you. So before we close out this interview, is there anything you want to leave my audience with? Because like I said, we see you and we're proud of you. Especially all of us that used to work, the institutional officers that was at Juvenile Hall.
Oh, man. Well, I guess y'all can say y'all influence at the Juvenile Hall, like, you know what I'm saying? And went somewhere. Like, I don't really got a lot of bad stories. I ain't get beat up by none of y'all or nothing. So, I mean... You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to be yourself, and, you know what I'm saying? Do what you want to do, whether it's music or art or whatever. Just keep doing it. It's going to prevail one day. It's not going to, day one, not going to always be good. Somebody might take you, it took me 4 years to even get to a position where, you know what I'm saying? So you just got to keep going.
Now, before I close this out, when you first started, you said your stuff wasn't that good. Sometimes people get frustrated because they put out 1 or 2 records and it doesn't go well. Explain to them how that doesn't mean it's just gonna make you become better.
You listen, try to find those people that's gonna give you their honest opinion, and don't be salty. Don't take criticism the wrong way. Get the criticism and go with it and see if it work. You know what I'm saying? If what you doing not broke, don't fix it. But if it is, just keep going till you get it right. Keep listening.
Now let me ask you this. Let me close out this interview. We talked about how your music can be found. Now, how can people find you on social media, like Instagram?
Oh, well, Instagram, Blaster Cannon. Twitter, Vote for Blaster. Clubhouse, Vote for Blaster. Facebook, Blaster Cannon again. Like, yep, you just find me anywhere, though. Or on my YouTube, Blaster HDTV.
So it's Blasted. So if they type in Blasted, and they
with that money sign, though. Bob, if you looking for it on them digital platforms, put the money sign in.
And then you will definitely pop up.
Yep, BLA, money sign TA.
Well, like I said, at Debonair Production, we're going to give you a 21-gun salute for I See You. We thank you for coming by the studio. And, man, much, much continued success, Blaster. We really appreciate you, my brother.
I appreciate y'all, man.
Yo, thanks for watching. I see you with your host, Mario Bobino. We out. T. Calloway.